Dear children, the lesson which we are starting today, that is inside our earth. This is the second lesson of geography, and from this lesson today we will study the topic layers of the earth. Previous year and all you learned about earth's surface, atmosphere, which are the different layers of atmosphere, all those kind of things you learned. Outside the earth, what we can say, mountains are there, plateaus or plains, all those things you learned. Did you ever thought about what is there inside the earth? Outside earth we can see by our eyes, but inside the earth, you maximum you can look it into an open well. You can see rocks, water, soil, etc. But beyond that, what is there inside the earth? Look at this diagram given here. This is like if we can take the different part of inside the earth, it will look almost like this. If we can take it out, it's not possible, just an imagination. So you can see different layers. Let's understand in a more detail. I hope all of you can recognize this planet. Yes, this is Earth, our homeland, and our Earth is a dynamic planet. It's not stagnant there. Continuously it's undergoing different changes inside the Earth and also outside the Earth. So this lesson we are focusing about inside the Earth. All of you know onion, no? Maybe you saw the onion in your house, in the kitchen. Ever checked when your mother or father or someone cut the onion, how it looked like? The picture what you can see in the right side, that is when that's a picture of an onion which is cut from the middle. So you can see there are layers, different layers for it. Our earth is also almost like that. There are several layers, just like an onion. The earth is made up of several concentric layers with one inside another. If you try to open the onion layer by layer, what will happen? You can keep on removing it till inside. You can keep on going inside the layer by layer you can go. Similarly, earth also, you can see in the diagram that if you cut the earth in that way, you can see that there are several layers, one inside the another. Let's understand the layers of earth in more detail. Observe this picture carefully, children. It's an image, just an image which it's like if we cut one part of earth and keep it aside, how it will look like. You can see that there are several different layers. We can understand it in detail one by one, but now you just observe this very carefully. You can see that in the middle, like a egg yolk, what you can see, that area is inner core. Then next to it, that orange colored part, that is outer core. The next layer, more largest one, we can say that part is mantle, and the thinnest one, the outmost layer which is the thinnest one, that part is what? The crust. Crust also we have two different kind, continental crust and oceanic crust. Let's understand in detail. First one is crust. Crust is the outermost layer of earth, and also it is the thinnest layer. So earth crust is the outermost one and the thinnest one. An interesting fact for you: the crust forms only 0.5% of the volume of the earth. 16% consists of mantle, and the rest 83% make the core. So what do you think? How come these different layers and all formed? Think about it. I will explain later. Even though the crust is the thinnest layer of the earth, there are two different kind of crust. One is continental crust, another one is oceanic crust. Oceanic crust means the part of crust which is there under the ocean, means under water, the land part, the crust which is there, that is oceanic crust. And continental crust means under the continents, seven different continents are there, under that means that part where the continents are situated, that those regions are continental crust. And there are some differences among them. Crust is about, the thickness of the crust is about 35 kilometer on the continental masses. But in the oceanic crust, ocean floor under the water, the crust is only having 5 kilometer thickness. So land area, the places where continents are, the land area is there the thickness is 35 kilometer, and in the ocean part it is only 5 kilometer. That is one difference. Another difference is oceanic crust mainly consists of silica and magnesium. So in chemistry, you will learn about chemical names. Periodic table, when you start learning, you will understand it. Silica in short form we call Si, and magnesium is known as Ma. So since silica and magnesium is present there in oceanic crust, we call it SiMa. And main minerals constituents which is there in the continental land area, continental crust, they are silica and alumina. So in short we can call it as Cl, because short form for silica is C and alumina it is Al, so we call it Cl. So remember children, Cl means continental crust, Sima means oceanic crust. Next layer of the earth, it is mantle. Mantle is just beneath the crust, and the mantle extends up to a depth of 2,900 kilometer below the crust. So that large area what you can see next to the earth crust, that part is called as mantle. Inside the mantle, the innermost layer of the earth is called as core, with a radius of about 3,500 kilometer. It is mainly made up of nickel and iron. So as we learned earlier, the short form of nickel is Ni, and iron is also called as ferrous. So the short form of ferrous it is Fe. So we can call it knife. Okay, knife means not the knife which we used to cut the onion earlier. It is nickel and ferrous. Ferrous means iron. Okay, this core, normally we say that there are three layers of earth: crust, mantle and core. But core we can again classify, or again we can divide into central core, upper core and central core. We just understand core means the interior layer of the earth. Okay, because the core area, since it is the interior part, it is having very high temperature and pressure. So let's understand how come these different layers are having different characters, and how did these layers formed. Once upon a time, the earth was also a very hot planet. So it was very hot, and gradually it started cool down. So you can see that if you are having something at home, you are eating something which is very hot. Okay, like a maybe a hot bonda or something, a round object. So when your mother made it, that time it will be extremely hot. You cannot even touch it. Then after some time, what will happen? Gradually it start cool down. So slowly when you touch it, it may not feel that hot. But if you opened it and try to eat it, what will happen? Outside it was cooler, but inside it may be still very hot. Our earth is also like that. It's gradually cooling down. The outside layer, that is the crust, is already cooled down, but mantle is having little bit extra hotness, not very cold, but it's gradually cooling down. But the interior part, inside the earth, that means the core part, is still very hot, extremely hot, and pressure is very high. So that's why the earth, the different layers are having different characters. As the layers cool down, its characteristics changes, and from the interior of the earth, the extreme hotness and that pressure which created that is what causing sometimes earthquake and land, all those earthquakes and all happen, or sometimes volcanic eruption and all happens. That by volcanic eruption, the hot lava or magma which is coming out, that is coming from the core part of the earth. And imagine thousands of volcanic eruption happening. Those kind of effect is there inside our core now. Okay, there are some interesting fact. You can read it one by one. Then read the textbook, and next part of the lesson we will continue through the Google Meet. Okay, thank you.